It's Wednesday, March 8th, 2017, and it's time for WorthPoint Chats with Harry Rinker. I'm Greg Watkins, the editor at WorthPoint.com, and it's time to talk with Harry about antiques and collectibles. How you doing, Harry?
I'm doing great. I'm back from Florida. My fantasy's fulfilled. I broadcast 9 softball games and 3 baseball games last week. You may remember we did the show while I was in the middle of all those broadcastings and so forth.
Well, that's right.
It's great fun, great fun. Loved being around the kids. That's really what makes the whole thing kind of worthwhile, I have to confess.
Well, let me ask you then, who is the what broadcaster do you most who's your favorite broadcaster? Who would you like to emulate?
Oh, Red Barber. That just goes to show how old I am, of course. But I forget who the great Philadelphia Phillies broadcaster was that I heard a lot as a kid. But I used to listen to Red Barber was he with the Dodgers or the Yankees? I can't remember.
I don't know. I know of Red Barber, but I don't know who.
I used to hear
Scully did the Dodgers, right? So
who did?
Vin Scully.
Vin Scully did the Dodgers, right? And
right.
I heard him and Harry Carey. I've heard a number of times. I mean, well, I have to tell you, one of the more interesting characters was who was the catcher for the Philadelphia Phillies? Tim
McCarver? Tim McCarver? No?
Yeah, right, Tim McCarver.
Right.
I liked him on the air. I mean, I heard Joe Garriola. Joe Garriola.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get this right tonight.
Joe G, right?
Yes, Joe G.
Garriola. There it is.
Yeah, however you pronounce it. But anyway, but I didn't know if I could do it, and I didn't have a lot of support. I didn't have a statistics man and everything else, and and I'm sure I butchered a lot of names of some of the players on the opposing points of the teams, although several of the baseball players from the Davenport team up to me yesterday and said, "You butchered our names too." And I said, "Okay."
Equal opportunity butcher.
Equal opportunity butchering, yes, it's okay. Yeah. Well, are you ready for this?
All right. What?
I have a topic for this evening.
Okay.
Fake news.
Fake news. Okay.
Well, stop and think about it. The antiques and collectibles trade is loaded with fake news.
Yes.
Seriously. I mean, people make up stories about stuff. They misidentify stuff, and at some point I can take, okay, the misidentification, I might forgive them for. I mean, we can't know everything, and unfortunately, the hardest words to say in our business are "I don't know." Okay, so yeah, it's a little tricky from that point of view, but I don't have any truck with people that make up stories about things. This belonged to so and so, or I acquired this from so and so, and creating a backstory that has absolutely nothing to do with the object. Seriously. And there's a lot of that stuff
from whole cloth, right? This
came from the estate of blank. Well, prove it to me.
Right.
The thing that you get as an appraiser. This is my grandmother's. Okay, prove it. I mean, autographs. I mean, forget the reproductions of things that are passed off as bad stuff. But the number of faked autographs out there, that are passed as real. I was talking earlier today with a good friend of mine, Jane Clark, who is a jewelry dealer down Albuquerque, New Mexico, runs Morning Glory Antiques. And she told me that she was selling on eBay about 150 objects a month, getting rid of some of her slow stock that she just had around the store and so forth. But she said to me, "Harry, if you go up to eBay and type in Marion Haskell," now Marion Haskell is one of those names in 1920s costume jewelry and stuff.
Yeah.
She said, every piece on the first 3 pages will be a fake. I mean, she has no faith in there. And that's the problem with sellers up there. I mean, it's such a huge problem. Now, unfortunately, I'm about to tell you something you may not know. We have to be careful with some of the prices on WorthPoint too. Let me tell you why. I got a very interesting email, and I'm not accusing WorthPoint of passing on fake news, so let's get that straight right from the beginning.
Yeah.
I got an email from somebody who said, I want to tell you a story, Harry, about buying on eBay. And I said, okay. The email went on and said, well, actually, no, this was on my radio show last Sunday. He said, listen, here's what happens. I go up to eBay to buy it now, right? Buy it now or make an offer, right? You see that all over eBay, right?
Yes.
And he said, I offer them anywhere from 25% off to 50, 60% off. And most of the time, people take my offer, all right? But then I go back up to eBay to see how eBay lists that item. And you know what it does? It lists the item as sold at the full list price. It never lists the item at the deducted price the buyer paid. Now, that's interesting news to me. I don't think you knew that, did you?
Well, I know that there is the data breaks down different ways, and it depends on how it's distributed. That whether you get the actual sell-through price or the listed price.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this it troubles me. It troubles me because in the digital age, we have to rely on the data provided to us, right?
Yes.
And you go up to the eBay and you can click on their little search, on their advanced search, and say sold items. Okay, so you click on that and you see these items and you assume all those prices are sell-through prices. They never tell you that the buy it now prices aren't sell-through prices. They don't tell you that the guy may have negotiated. I've done that myself. I've never gone back to check again. But the next time I buy something on eBay and I counter offer and the guy buys it, I'm going to go back and check and see what eBay says it's sold for, because I'm curious at this point.
Yeah, that's something to investigate.
No, it is something. But then again, too, most people, if they're out buying antiques and collectibles at a shop or a show, they'll never tell you what they paid. They'll tell you what the dealer asked. Well, the dealer was asking $350. Yeah, well, okay, and
I paid $100 for it.
They paid $100 for it. Well, it's been known to happen. Been known to happen. But I've thought a lot about this, and it's still in our business, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. The burden is on the buyer to know what he's buying, not on the seller to know what he's selling.
Yeah,
and
we talked about that last week too with the what was it, the Hitler phone and the Fabergé egg?
Yes, we did, and yet the whole implication, one of the things is that there is fraud in our business. If you hold yourself out to be an antique dealer or an expert, either one, the law says that implicit on the part of the person talking to you is that you have expertise in your field. Okay, now why is that important? Well, you go into a house and there is something on the wall, a painting, and the person says, I want to sell it. You say, I'll give you $100 for it, right?
Right.
Well, the thing about it is that suppose that painting is worth $10,000 and you know that, right? So you give the person $100. You send it to auction. It sells for $10,000. The person sees it, and they're not happy, right? In fact, they can come at you because the person brought you in as an expert, and as such, there is a responsibility on your part to treat them fairly. Now, the question is, how much on the dollar do you have to pay to avoid being accused of fraud? All right. Now, interestingly enough, back in the 1990s, there were a number of court cases on this point. Here's what we know. 10 cents on the dollar is too little. 25 cents on the dollar is fine, because the court cases that went in there where a dealer paid 25 cents on a dollar. Say suppose something was worth $10,000, they gave him $2,500, but then they sold it for $10,000. That wasn't a problem. But if you went in there and you paid $100 for something worth $10,000, that was a big problem. The question is, where in the middle of all this is the number? Okay, based on those court decisions and some of the rest of the stuff that's going on in trade, the safe number appears to be somewhere around 18 to 20 cents on the dollar, if you go in as an expert.
Right.
Now, So if a person said, if you go in as an expert and just take that same situation again, if you go in as an expert and the woman says, I want to sell that painting, and you said, how much do you want for it? And they say $100, and you don't know it's worth 10,000. You've got to even the playing field. You've got to say it's worth more than that. I'll give you this, and have that number fit within that 18-20% range to be fair.
Yeah.
You know, when you're doing an IRS appraisal, fair market value is based on three things: willing buyer, willing seller, neither under the compulsion to buy or sell, and both equally knowledgeable. And that's where the deal breaks down. The deal breaks down if one party is more knowledgeable than the other. Okay?
Yeah.
So the moment you're called in, or you're there, or you're represented as an expert. Now the question is, how long do you have to be in the business to be considered an expert? You ready for this? 1 second. No, there has to be some medium here. And so the moment you hold yourself out to be an expert, the trust is implied that you won't futz with the person.
Okay, so if I go out and say I am an expert on X items and I don't know anything about it.
No, let's suppose a person called you in the house and knew you worked for WorthPoint.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that makes you an expert. Now you may not think it does, but on paper it does.
Okay.
All right, but no, seriously, if I go and say, "Hi, I'm Harry Rinker," hey, I'm an expert. I can't hide. Now, there's an interesting exception to this if you don't know it. If you go to a garage sale and you see a painting there for $10 and it's worth $10,000, you could buy it for $10 and not cheat the person, because you didn't hold yourself out to be an expert at the garage sale. You were just one more person in the crowd. All right?
Right.
And so if they were dumb enough to put $10 on a $10,000 painting, that's their problem. They didn't ask for your opinion. They didn't ask for anything, right?
Yeah.
You don't walk around with a big sign on your back of your shirt that says, "Hi, I'm Harry Rinker, National Antiques and Collectible Expert. I won't screw you. I mean, I won't take advantage of you." All right, but that's the one exception. But the moment you hold yourself out as an expert, people expect you to treat them fairly. Now, again, fairly is a loose term. The person that would get $2,000 for a $10,000 painting may not be a happy camper. All right, but at least it works.
Definitely not going to be happy about that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, we got a neat piece in this week.
Do. Yeah.
Let's get it up here.
All right.
One of our viewers contacted us about a World War II pigeon carrier. Now let's get the pictures up of the ones that we were sent. Is this the one that he sent?
Yes, it is.
All right. Now we've learned a lot about this since this came in a couple days ago, but this is a World War II era United States Pigeon Corps, which was Pigeon Signal Corps, which was part of the United States Signal Corps. And this is a 4-bird carrier. And we know that because if you look at the lid, all right, where's the lid? If you look at the lid, it says PG 104-CB. And there's another variation that says PG 102-CB, which is for 2 birds. And this is for 4 birds, all right?
Right. And as you can see here, these are 2 boxes that are strapped together with the metal.
Right, but if you take them apart, there's not an O2. I mean, they belong like this.
They belong together, yes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Okay. Now, what was neat is, and this is what we like about people that send us information. We got a lot of great pictures of this. All right, this is the one that I just love. You open the top. We're going to blow it up a little bit more in a minute. You open the top, and inside there is, on the lid, is a capsule that can be attached to the bird's leg. Now, normally there should be 4 of them, but that's okay. And a message book, right?
Yeah, with the instructions plastered onto the
yeah,
top.
But now I got to tell you about that message book, by the way. There are 2 variations of that. One to write a message, and another one that had tracing paper that you could put over top of a map and trace the coordinates off the map and send it to, all right?
Okay.
Now, you got to look, carrier pigeon, right? Homing pigeons, right?
Yes.
And so you got to say to yourself, Okay. Instinctively, they have this gyro or whatever the heck is in their head and they get home, right?
Yes.
I now have a new theory based on one of the instructions. Can you blow the instructions up?
Yes.
All right. Look at instruction number 2. Water, but do not feed pigeons on the day of release. They flew home so they could get food.
Yes.
Yes. Well, wouldn't
Yeah.
you if all you had was water? Come on. I mean, the pigeons may have had some kind of homing instinct, but they were encouraged to go home.
That's right. I am hungry. I'm going to go home.
That's exactly
Dragging
right.
this thing on my leg because I am hungry.
That's right. Now, I thought it was interesting in some of the other instructions, avoid holding pigeons longer than 48 hours. I'm not sure why that was the case. And release pigeons before sunset unless otherwise instructed. Well, hey, what happens if they get up there in the dark? They can't find their way. I didn't know they needed daylight to do that, but maybe they do.
Yeah, just at least to get their bearings, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Got me. Well, anyway, here it is. Now, before we get started on this and find out what the Worthopedia has to say for us, I found out a number of things. First of all, pigeons arrived on the scene in the 1870s in the Franco-Prussian. Now, they were used by the ancient Persians and Romans. Julius Caesar sent messages back to Rome with pigeons. But in terms of a military thing, it was during the Franco-Prussian War and the siege of Paris in 1870-71 that carrier pigeons were used, set to London and all over the place so the people in besieged Paris could get word out about what was going on, okay? And then almost after that war, the military planning schools of all the military started looking at pigeons as a message carrier. And by the time World War I rolled around, passenger pigeons were in big demand, okay? Now, in World War II, the Army Pigeon Signal Corps was done, all right?
Yes.
I've got some numbers here. I got to look them up here for a moment. Just give me a minute here till I get to the Pigeon Corps thing. The Pigeon Corps is very interesting. It was stationed initially at Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, and then it was moved down into Missouri for a while, and then came back to Fort Monmouth, okay? But what was startling, and this is why I have to thumb through this thing here. During World War II, here I go. Here we go. No, I got to get the right pile of notes here. I got more notes than I know what to do with. All right. During World War II, how many pigeons did you think we trained?
Oh, geez. 10,000?
54,000 pigeons.
Wow.
I don't want to say anything, but that's a lot of guano. Other things. So there must have been some good fertilization areas around there. We sent 36,000 of them to Europe and other and the Pacific. Okay, and the first United States Army Veterinary Service was created to protect the health of the pigeons. I don't know what they did about the health of the horses and the rest of them in earlier wars, but it says as these birds were more frequently used over the course of war, the United States Army the United States Army Veterinary Service had dedicated a whole unit to the protection of the pigeons.
Yeah, okay, that sounds better.
That sounds better, right? Yeah. Anyway, but the pigeons were a big factor. Now, God bless the British, because only the Brits would do this, right? They created a medal for wartime animals. And the Durkin, all right, I'll get it right. Yeah, I think that's right. Medal. Okay, and here's the deal. 36 pigeons won the medal. The Dickin, D-I-C-K-I-N medal. Okay? And an American bird won it too. G.I. Joe, his name was. The most outstanding flight made by a United States Army pigeon in World War II. Wow. You learn more. That's what I like about it. You learn more than you want to know about this stuff. Well, anyway, so now what is this guy's stuff worth? Well, you know, what we did is, oh, by the way, before we get started, that you're gonna love this too. This is just one transportation method for pigeons. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Searching,
yeah. Right.
Searching through the
Because
through the
if you now you look up here, there you see a parachute with a canvas around a wireframe pigeon carrier, right? Now that one's sold for good money. Look at that, $649.
That's right.
I don't know where the pigeon came from. Maybe they just stuffed it.
Well, I think this looks like a little plastic pigeon.
I guess. I don't know. But
yeah.
Moving on to the next one, here is one of our examples, right? It sold for $610. Now, you and I got an argument beforehand because I was up and found a 2013 price for $700. But our problem is that I must have entered a different set of search engines in there.
Yeah, keywords.
I mean, this is one of the things. But okay, but here's 610. Now, okay, so I found one for 611. Here's 610, and you don't know if this one has the booklet or whatever. But the point of the matter is this: you can easily get confused by this because with a little bit of additional research, as they say, we found examples that sold for what? A lot less.
For a lot less. So 370, 350. The most recent one sold for about 150 earlier this year.
Yeah, and I would say that you know, how many people want one of these things, right?
True.
And there again, there's one of those parachute ones without the darn plastic bird, and that one only brought like a 200 and a quarter, right, against 600.
Yeah, 255.
Yeah, but you know, the neatest one I saw some pictures of guys, and paratroopers had a little canvas sling that a pigeon would fit into that they could put in the front of their body as they jumped out of the plane.
Yeah.
That was kind of neat. Anyway, we also found out that you could buy the cat. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, is it? Now, what did that so that is so neat. I think I would like to have one of those, but I don't know. But it was over 100. No, $95. That's
$95. That was sold 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we also found out that the capsules themselves can sell for $25 to $50, right?
Yes, the little leg capsules could sell upwards of well, here's a metal container for 65.
Yeah, but we found some for as low as 25, I think.
Also true.
Yeah.
And
the booklets are like $10 to $15, right?
But I thought this was the coolest little thing. You've got
you told me about that. Yeah, here's a group of Barclay lead soldiers, and one of them has got his pigeon boxer.
Right. Yeah, he's got a pigeon in one hand, and he's letting the other one go here. Let me see if I can make this bigger.
I know. Isn't that neat? Wow. All right. Good old Manol. Metal cast toys. Fabulous. And I don't know, was that a set or is it?
Yeah, it was a box set. Let me get back to.
Yeah.
What? So Barclay man oil lead soldiers. Cannon with you've got a kneeling soldier with 2 carrier pigeons, a soldier with an aerial searchlight, and a soldier throwing what is described as a round bomb.
Well, you know what's nice about this? What's nice about this is look where this discussion has taken us. I learned more about carrier pigeons than I ever wanted to know in my lifetime. Let me trust me.
Yeah.
I found out, you know, a great variety about them. I mean, we didn't even begin to touch the historical stuff I found. Also found out that there's a toy like this. So, you know, it must have been a popular thing here. Well, anyway,
I think they were effective.
So what do we tell this guy? His thing is worth maybe between, I don't know, would you say $250 and $300 maybe?
Well, with
everything complete though, I think maybe $350, even in the down market.
Yeah.
All right. What an interesting thing. Listen, let's get that slide up there. Man, I love this kind of stuff, and I'd love to hear from some of our viewers, our listeners, or whatever we call them here.
I think they're viewers.
Are they viewers? Well, because they're viewing the YouTube video, you mean?
That's right.
All right. But anyway, you can send us your item along with a bunch of pictures and a lot of information to community@worthpoint.com. Community@worthpoint.com. We would love to get some things. Also, do you have something you want us to talk about? I mean, it's not that I have any lack of things to talk about, but maybe
Well,
maybe our viewers would like me to talk about something different. We would love to hear from you as well.
Yeah.
Now,
we do have another item. If
no,
you
no,
got
no,
a couple.
we're not going to go to the other item. It'll
No?
wait till next week. I have some more stuff I want to talk about here.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
wanting to get rid of these items here. I know you got a whole stockpile of them, and I noticed that you didn't take the stuff off the stockpile, man. I sent you the pigeon carrier the other day, and man, it whipped up right into tonight's.
well, that's because it was interesting.
I see, and you're suggesting that a lot
so,
of the stuff I'm saying to you isn't interesting. Well, there's
no, that's not true. I got the photos and I uploaded them, and then I started searching through the Wikipedia, and there were all these hits. It's like, okay, we've got to do this one tonight.
Yeah. All right. Now, had I been antiquing last week when we talked?
Yeah. You talked about going shopping and not buying anything.
Yeah. Okay. So I down at Winter Haven.
Yeah.
Well,
and you talked about your lunch. Pizzas by the slice.
Pizza by the slice. Yes, or sliced pizza. SLYC, sliced pizza. I went there 3 days in a row. That's how good it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. Well, I was talking to I was talking to the gal down in Albuquerque, and I think sometimes it's good to report stuff from the field. Jane Clark, who is a wonderful dealer in a wide range of jewelry, and she sells on the net. She sells on eBay. I told you she has her own website. She's one of those independent dealers that has developed a website with a huge following, morningglory.antiques.com. But she also has a brick store, mortar store.
Yeah.
So I said to her, well, how's it going? She says, traffic is down. And I said, well, what's happening? She said, well, the problem is that people are coming in to buy jewelry, and even young people, but they're buying it to wear it. They're not buying it to collect it the same way the old timers did. But she said what she can't sell is the old traditional antiques, what's called brown goods. You know what brown goods are, right?
Yeah.
No, yes. If you're a drinker, now wait a minute, let's try this again. If you're a drinker, you know what brown goods are. But we're not talking about alcohol
here next to the desk.
We're not talking about alcohol here.
Right.
What we're talking about is furniture.
Yeah.
All that colonial revival furniture from the 20s, 30s, and the 50s, 60s, and 70s. You can't sell it. Can't sell it at all. And not just that, but also the glassware, stemware, flatware. The people that are coming in to buy aren't coming in to collect. They're coming in to buy functional stuff they can use. Now, what she did say sells are occasional tables. And they can be brown goods. You know what I'm talking about, the little small end tables and occasional tables from the 20s and 30s that sat in a foyer or in a corner. In fact, I'm looking at one across the way as we're doing the show that was in my parents' home and so forth. Those she can sell. Things that fit into the modern settings. Now, I asked her about modernism, down in Albuquerque, and she said, well, not so much. Which surprised me to some extent because it's the hot topic in other parts of the country. But
how does Missions sell down there?
Well, she doesn't see too much of it. But her big problem. So we got talking about jewelry, Indian material. And she told me, have you ever been to Santa Fe?
Yes.
Yeah, and you know that gallery along the way? Well, apparently a bunch of foreign dealers got in there among the Indians. I don't know, they look like Indians. I have no idea how they were allowed into the first place. And were selling repros. They finally threw them out.
Yes, I've read about that.
You did? I've been trying to find something about that and can't find it on the internet. It supposedly happened late last year. Where'd you see it?
Now, the incident that I knew about was longer ago than that. I've got family in New Mexico. And all of my relatives wore silver and turquoise and coral.
Well, she said there's just so much problems with stuff that she won't touch it.
Yeah. Coming in from China and possibly even India. And a lot of the turquoise is not even real turquoise.
No, I know, not anymore.
Yeah.
She also said that the Mexican stuff is in such quantity that you can't trust it anymore either down there. And she just shies away from all of it. But interesting enough, in Santa Fe, right off the square, is a museum that is attempting to chronicle every known Indian Native American craftsman out there in silver, ceramics, textiles, and so forth. If you ever get down there again and have a chance to visit that, I went in there and I bought reference book after reference book because they have done some really stellar work down there. But this is a way to end the show the way we started it, and that is fake news. In a way, I'm pleased that they're cracking down on those reproductions. It isn't fair. It isn't fair to Native Americans. It isn't fair to anybody actually. That this stuff is allowed to float out there. And we talked about last week. What appalled me most last week about the whole business was that none of the pieces I saw in the two group shops that I visited were marked, and that's really bad.
As reproductions.
As reproductions, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here again, as the Guitar Car guys would say, we wasted another perfectly good half hour. In this case, not an hour. We wouldn't do that to people. But we got to talk about the future fairies, and you got totally frustrated one more time about the other object, which you will, I'm sure, have on the list next time. But meanwhile,
it's okay.
Let's get some emails in about subjects you'd like us to discuss, something you'd like to send us and ask about. Community@worthpoint.com. Community@worthpoint.com. By the way, I don't know if you know, Greg, somebody put a Twitter announcement out that the videos are up on YouTube, and I got a lot of hits this week by people who said, oh, they like them.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will do this again next Wednesday. We will. Yep.
Yeah. You're clear. Your schedule's open for us next Wednesday.
Yep. And then I'm off to Phoenix, Arizona, and then I fly into Orlando on the 22nd. But I should be there in time to do the show.
Excellent. All right. We'll make plans for it.
We will indeed. And you have a great week.
I will, Harry. You too. And until next time, we'll say goodbye. Goodbye, Harry.